Conversations, you give all the advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. because we are here to break the culture of silence. So, if you have a story that you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, make sure you send in your story. Send in your story with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. You can send in your story via text message or WhatsApp messaging. Once again, name and contact number along with your story via text message or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Tonight on Adult Conversations. My name is Chika, 28 and a successful architect. I'm also heir to my father's company as I am the only child. My fiancé and I have been together for 2 years and we have the best relationship. He's 24 and an engineer. Before my fiancé, I had a series of bad relationships, and during that time, my father always told me that my husband will have to sign a prenuptial agreement which stated what he's entitled to if we get divorced. When I met my fiancé, he was open to the idea and he even understood why. Now, we're about to get married, and I brought it out to be signed. He now refused to sign the prenup, saying that I don't love him or trust him to be by my side forever. My father says we can't get married if he doesn't sign it. So, what do I do? Interesting story tonight, and this is coming from Chika. 28-year-old Chika, successful architect, also heir to her father's company since she's the only child. Before her current fiancé, Chika says she's been in a series of bad relationships, but her fiancé and her have been together for 2 years and they have the best relationship. He's 34, he's an engineer, he's also doing well, so they fit each other. According to Chika, during the time of her bad relationships, her father told her that her husband will have to sign a prenuptial agreement which would state what he's entitled to if they get a divorce after some years after marriage. Now, Chika told this to her fiancé when they first met, and he understood why. He was open to the idea, he was willing to sign it. He completely understood the general idea of signing a prenuptial agreement, also known as a prenup. Now that they're about to get married, Chika has brought out the prenup to be signed. But her fiancé is refusing to sign it, saying that she doesn't love him or trust him to be by her side forever. Chika's father is saying they can't get married if he doesn't sign it. So she's asking, what do I do? The number to call to advise Chika tonight is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in your text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. To call, dial the number 07000 917 917. If you want to send a text or a WhatsApp message, the number to do that is 0703 175 6537. Anywhere you are in the world, you can listen live from the website www.wfm917.com. I'll take that again, www.wfm917.com. Now, please, when you call, ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it all the way down so that I can hear you and we can have a smooth flow of conversation without any interference. Thank you very much. Also, please keep your comments short, simple, and constructive. Don't insult anybody else's opinion. Don't judge, because we do not do that here on Adult Conversations. Thank you. And finally, the group chat is open. The group chat on WhatsApp, the Adult Conversations group chat, is open. And of course, accepting new members. So if you want to be a part of the Adult Conversations family group chat, there you can meet new people, you can exchange ideas, and of course, your comment will be read first before we begin the show every day. So you can send in your name and contact number via WhatsApp Send your name and contact number on WhatsApp. Remember that this contact number has to be a WhatsApp number. So name and WhatsApp number, send it on WhatsApp to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Now, I'm going to go on this group chat. Yes, this very one I've just spoken about, and I'll read up some messages from there. All right. First question is, can we know what is stated in the agreement so we won't be partial here? Can we know what is stated in the agreement so we won't be partial here? Square Cakes and More says, I agree with this. Patrick from Ikorodu says, good evening all. Chika, as we wait for the answer to the above question, which is the details of the prenup, let me start by saying that the young man may have accepted the agreement earlier without knowing the situation that surrounded it. But now he has come to his senses, and don't blame him. I don't think it's good for your daddy to keep that condition for any man that wants to marry. To make the matters worse, the case of divorce is mentioned, and that is why the guy is saying you don't love him. I'll advise you to work on your daddy. According to you, you've been having difficulty in relationships, and this could be the reason. Because no man wants to be enslaved. You're the only child should not also be the reason for that. And that's coming from Patrick from Ikorodu. Chinwe from Ejigbo saying, good evening, lady. Nobody prays for divorce, so it's not good to mention it. Neither is it good for one to put conditions before getting married. Tell your father to sell the company and settle you with cash. That's coming from Chinwe from Ejigbo. Patrick from Ikorodu is saying, Chika, if you try all this with your daddy and he refuses, in order not to keep you single, tell him we'll go for court wedding. Tell him you will go for a court wedding. Please don't give any man that agreement to sign again, please. Grandma Layanka is saying, if you get divorced, personally, I see like your dad does not wish you a happy married life. Your husband can't share your father's property now. I bet we don't become Oyiboni. And that's coming from Grandma Olayanka. Well. Interesting line of thought tonight. What is your thought on the subject? What do you say? I'm going to quickly summarize the story. Chika is saying she's 28. She's an architect, a successful one. She's also the heir to her father's company because she's an only child. Chika is saying that her fiancé and she have been together for 2 years and they have a great relationship. She had a series of bad relationships before she met this guy. And during that time, her father always told her that, look, your husband will have to sign a prenuptial agreement which states what he's entitled to if you both get divorced after a period of time. She told her fiancé this when they first met, and he was open to the idea of signing the prenup. He even understood the reason for it. So now, 2 years later, they're about to get married, and she's brought out the prenup to be signed. But now he's saying he's not going to sign the agreement, saying that Chika doesn't love him or trust him to be by her side forever. Chika's father, on the other hand, says you can't marry him if he won't sign the agreement. So Chika is saying, look, I don't know what to do and I need your help. I need your advice. And that's why she's bringing this story to us today. What is your advice to Chika? What do you think she should do? Call in to 07000 917 917 to give Chika some good advice tonight. Hello, good evening. Mr. Darlington, good evening. Thank you for calling. How are you doing today?
I am okay, and you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for calling.
How was the weekend?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, by the way, where is my iron lady?
Your iron lady is still in remarried, you know. Your iron lady is still very much active. Why do you ask?
It's been a while, no?
I know. You know, maybe one of these days I should bring her on board, just maybe as a guest or something.
It's okay. So if a man and a woman is married and they are divorced, who pay alimony? Who gives the woman money?
It depends on who asked for the divorce. It depends on who requested for the divorce. It depends on who requested for the divorce, who earns more, the circumstances surrounding the divorce, and who can afford more to give at the time, and particularly if children are involved. So there are a number of things to consider. Hello, Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington, please call back if you can. Call back if you can. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think is going on right now? And what do you advise Chika to do? Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for calling. Please, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm Jojo from Aki. Speaking on Chika, I don't know why they're introducing divorce as early as this time. In terms of they've not even settled, they've not gotten married, they've not even concluded the marriage, and the father is already introducing a divorce. I feel what Chika's family is introducing is totally wrong. I don't know what the father must have gone through for him to have introduced that to his own child. But I think the guy will be traumatized even by seeing such agreements already. He already have a feeling that Chika's family is already introducing a divorce, and divorce is not really healthy. Trust me, it is not healthy. Thank you.
So, what is your advice to Chika right now?
The advice to Chika is to discard that divorce, agreement with the father, and move on with her life. Her father has concluded her life, so Chika needs to decide for herself.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Okay. So I believe your name was Jojo. I hope I got that correctly. All right. She's saying that Chika needs to discard the prenuptial agreement and move on with her life. So just so we're clear, her father is passing down his company to Chika after he passes. What that means is Chika is the heir to her father's company, meaning when he dies, the entire company, all the employees, how much that company is worth goes down to Chika when her father dies. So, for instance, if the company is worth $5 million, Chika stands to gain $5 million worth, of course, in assets and all of that when her father dies. So you would understand technically why her father will want to make sure that if they ever get a divorce, Chika's husband will not take most of it, because that's what he worked for and handed over to his daughter. Now, I'm trying to get the details of the prenuptial agreement, but Chika is not willing to give that out. The prenuptial agreement basically says that she gets 70% of whatever the company is worth. So if they get a divorce, the husband gets 30, she gets 70. And that's that, particularly if the divorce plays out in a certain type of way. So the point here remains, that's the reason for the prenuptial agreement, because Chika stands to inherit the father's property, and he wants to know that she won't lose everything if they get a divorce. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Dara, calling from Pega.
Hello, Dara. Thank you very much for calling. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so your advice is on the only reason. Now, for the father, he has a reason. People should not say he has no right to bring up the divorce thing. He has a reason. He built his company up from ground up. He knows why he doesn't want to just go to just expect. For the lady, where does she herself stand? It says that she herself doesn't have her own say. She's like, if it could go in either the father's way or fiance's way, she doesn't have her own say.
Oh, she does. She does.
What did her say?
She does. She's going with her father. She's going with her father.
Okay, she's going with her father.
Yes, because she understands. She understands.
I mean, the point of having a marriage or whatever, in terms of the agreement goes both ways. The understanding should go both ways. It shouldn't just be the lady to be understanding of the man.
Yeah.
If he understood when they were dating, I think the only reason why he should be denying now should be the terms of the contract. And from the 70-30 split, I still think if that's the only term, it's still fair. Except, is he the one who will be running the company and then he still gets 30%? And for this, she going to be running the company and then he gets it. I love details.
Yes, of course.
But I feel like if he agreed to the prenup beforehand, and terms of contract are not detrimental to him. I think he is the one being selfish.
Interesting.
And I think she should stick with her mind and her father. No father wants anything bad for the child, especially not an only child, especially not the female only child. But the father knows why she's sitting on the prenup.
Okay.
And I'm sure she understands her father's perspective, and I think the guy should understand. And the best solution is for the three of them to have a sit down
and discuss.
Talk.
All right.
Why don't you want the prenup? What terms would you prefer in prenup? Stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dara. Thank you for calling. To a large extent, I think that summarizes what Chika is trying to say. So she understands that her father built his company from the ground up, and this is why he's very concerned about how the company fares in his absence. So he's concerned that her series of bad relationships, and according to her in the story that she relayed to me before we put that together, was that a lot of the people that she has been with in the past have just been taking advantage of her money, of her and her money. So she has money of her own as an architect, and she has, of course, her father's money as well. So the father intends passing down the company to her for her to run the company when he dies, which she can do. So he's concerned that if they get a divorce and her husband milks her, she can lose most of the company, and then they have to start from scratch. So that's why this is going on. But thank you very much, Dara. What do you think? Hello, good evening.
Hello, I'm calling back because of what Dara said.
Okay, this is Jojo.
This is Jojo from Lekki.
Jojo from Lekki, okay.
It is okay for them to give their terms and conditions here, but I don't think they'll be giving that terms and conditions to a man that already has his company running, a man that already has his life running, a man that can even take care of the girl and her entire family. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Not really.
I'm trying to make them understand that most men that are already doing well for themselves will not agree with such terms.
Why? Why do you say that?
I feel so because in so many cases, most men that really want to settle down the right way, they actually get proper things doing for themselves, and they will not depend on any other lady's family wealth. Some of them are already having their companies running. Some of them are living their life.
Joshua, you're very right. You're very right. But here's my question. If he doesn't care about the money, he's an engineer, so he's doing pretty well for himself. Though it's not his company, but he's top in that company where he works at. So he's doing well. He can take care of her. He's willing to marry her. He loves her, and everything is good in their relationship, of course, if you remove this. But if you add this now, if he really doesn't care about the money, if it's not a big deal to him, then what exactly is wrong with signing the prenup? What's wrong with it?
It's the thing. When you bring up an agreement in a marriage that you've not even started, it's a pushback.
It's a what?
Trust me, a lot of people know, it's a pushback. A lot of people will just feel like, okay, maybe initially he accepted to that agreement because he felt, okay, it might be a minor thing or it's not really relevant. But when he got into the agreement properly and saw the details of the agreement, he disagreed.
That's what I'm saying. Why though? Why did he disagree? Is it the terms of the agreement that's okay, not conducive for him, or what? Yes, please.
Let me put it in a clear term. My brother cannot be doing well for himself and have his own family wealth or have his own inheritance that he wants to inherit from his own family, and he's marrying another lady that has the same capabilities in terms of her family wealth and all of that. And you expect my brother to sign any form of agreement just because he wants to marry a lady. I don't know if you understand me. I just feel like most men doing well for themselves will not agree to any terms and conditions before getting married to any lady.
He's doing well. That's what I'm trying to emphasize, Jojo. He's doing well, but he's not doing half as well as the girl. She's an architect. So if you take out, exactly.
That's the reason why come up with such an agreement, because if he's doing better than the lady and her family, they won't give him that agreement.
No, obviously, but that's not the case. That's not the case. The case here is her father owns a company.
And because of the way she has been mishandled by several others, then I think the agreement is fine to sign. But if the men that are coming to her are actually doing better than her and her family, I don't think there's any reason to sign that.
All right, understood. Thank you so much, Jojo. Well, technically, he's an engineer, as I said. He earns his salary, but he's doing really well for himself by Nigerian standards, by even international standards, because he works for a multinational, so to speak. So he's making good money. He's making good money. But if you take out Chika's father's inheritance and everything, the fact that she's from a rich family, she's still doing, I'm not sure who's doing better when it comes to individual money, but because Chika stands to gain money from her father, that's the reason that this prenup is set. It's not necessarily because of Chika's money. It's more because of her father's money that will be handed over to her through the company when he dies. So that's more the reason why her father is insisting that they sign the prenup, because I don't think he wants it to be a case where if eventually things don't work out. But I think that might be the challenge here, because I read it in some of the text messages. People are talking about the fact that, why should they even be talking about, be in the case of a divorce? In the case of a divorce, if you think about it, it's here on this side of the world that we don't sign prenuptial agreements. Among the wealthy, among the rich, they do. They actually do, because it's important that the family's wealth or the company's wealth is secure in the eventuality that things don't work out. It's not a foreboding of evil. It's like saying you draft a will in your 20s or in your 30s or your 40s when you've blown and you have some money and you create a trust fund for your child. You're doing all of that. You put your will together. The fact that you put a will together doesn't say that you will die in the next 5 years. It doesn't say that. That's a weird superstition that we have on this part of the world. But it really doesn't mean that. Your will can outlive you. As a matter of fact, your will outlive you because you will die before your will is read. But my point here is it doesn't necessarily mean it's a foreboding of evil to come. It doesn't necessarily mean that when they say in case there's a divorce, this is what will go to the man. It doesn't mean that they're praying that there will be a divorce. It is just wealthy people speak. That's how they understand life. They try to secure their things here and there. So that's basically where her father is coming from. And of course, because she's in support of her father's school of thought on this, that's where she's coming from as well. She's an only child. So you can imagine that this will have been drummed into her head from when she was a child that, when I die, you take over the company. She already knows that. And that, of course, plays a part in who she dates, how she dates. So it's a big deal. So because it's a big deal, I think it's a bit hard for Chika's father to give this up and just act like it doesn't exist. Because, again, he worked for this company and it's going to be kind of difficult. On the other hand, Chika's fiance might be thinking, as I think it was Jojo or Dara who said this, that maybe he was thinking maybe it was something small. It wasn't a big deal whatsoever. That, okay, he wants me to sign a prenup if I'm going to marry you. All right, not a problem. I'm okay with that. I even understand it. But now, when push comes to shove, when it comes to that point where he's supposed to sign it, then there's a challenge. So maybe he thinks the terms are not fair enough. Maybe he thinks that Chika is manipulating him. Or maybe he thinks that Chika now doesn't love him because she wants him to sign something that says, this is what you get, this is what I get if we get a divorce. So I'm not sure where that's coming from. But as a man, I would like to hear your thoughts. If you were the one in Chika's fiance's shoes and you refuse to sign it, why would you refuse to sign it? Why would you refuse to sign it? And more importantly, please give advice to Chika because she's the one that needs it. This is Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7.
Keep it loud, keep it loud. Turn your radios up. Wow. WFM 91.7. We go live.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
My guy, what's in the partner? I'm not sure you don't see the result. I know this party, but trust you now. How you been? I'm fine. I be fine. Success not have party go dey place tomorrow. Jumoke say go dey expect you for here tomorrow.
What time?
6 p.m. sharp.
Why you dey rush talk now?
See, my credit go so finish me.
For this new economy, when your credit dey finish,
I beg say me another thing. Now, gas feed your meter.
no need to dey rush your call. Buy Glo SIM wey you subscribe to Glo 11 per second. Now to dey make calls for as low as 11 per second to all networks. E dey available to new and existing subscribers. Terms and conditions dey sha o.
My children are surprises. Adane buys my favorite 3 Crowns milk regularly. And as for Chinedu, that one makes it rain with monthly upkeep. They even plan to take me to Dubai someday soon, so I can see Burj Khalifa and other fine places.
Win your mom a trip to Dubai. Buy 3 Crowns milk products worth 2,000 naira. Write a note to say thank you to your mom. Post it on www.3crowns.com.ng and she could be one of the lucky winners to Dubai. Terms and conditions apply. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
It's a brand new day, I'm feeling strong. Fit to do anything, fit to do my work now. Yesterday was tough, but I don't regret, I don't recover. See me as a murder, now that I see me, I wanna preach. Let me say, I'm not the way. You forgot so I'm falling people, yeah.
Repair and recover with Astimine, a blend of amino acids and multivitamins.
2023 general election don't come. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Make we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates wey no dey use women play. Candidates wey carry woman matter for head. Women no, make una get una permanent voters card (PVC). Make we vote better.
My Voice for Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Ready Right 1.7 bring una this message.
Na Women Radio 91.7 anyị ji gị kpọrọ ihe anyị na-achọ ụzọ anyị ga-esi pịaruo gị nso ya ka anyị ji bido otu ndị redio ụmụ nwaanyị ijikọ gị na ụmụ nwaanyị ndị ọzọ nọ na steeti 36 n'obodo Naijiria. Ị bụ onye ahịa, onye nwere ebe ị na-arụ, nwa akwụkwọ, onye ezumike nka, nne nọ n'ụlọ na-elekọta ụmụaka maọbụ onye ọrụ ugbo. Otu redio ụmụ nwaanyị ji maka gị wee pụta. Debanye aha na WFM917.com. Ị nwekwara ike isonyere otu ndị redio ụmụ nwaanyị na Facebook. Ndị so anyị ga-erite uru. Anyị ga-akwalite ahịa ha na-azụ na Women Radio. Ị ga-enwetakwa ezigbo uru rite uru dị iche iche. Budata ngwa mkpanaka anyị ka ị gee anyị ntị ebe ọbụla ị nọ. Ndị otu redio ụmụ nwaanyị na-ejikọ gị na ụmụ nwaanyị ndị ọzọ.
Here is a list of excuses that will no longer be accepted.
I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
Oh, I would have recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots?
Don't know where my internet token is, and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it?
Hey, Jumbo, I said buy data, but that recharge card seller no dey ever get change. How would you?
Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Joe Brody Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later.
I beg, I said share your hotspot. This way behind. Make fun that no go fireman. The smartest data network, Glo, grandmasters of data.
The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never had a snake and whether Saturn and swallowing money.
Why?
Everything has increased.
Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives. God
government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for other means. Because
we should address Nigerian problems. Yes, Panorama. Mondays through Fridays from 9 to 5 a.m.
WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, Voice of Women.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Victoria.
Hello, Victoria. Where are you calling from?
From Ibafo.
Okay, Victoria from Ibafo. Thank you very much for calling. All right, what's your advice to Chika?
Please, what I want to say is that, as an only...
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I thought I want good for her. Husband wants any man that wants to marry her, she sign whatever he wants them to sign because of her past experience.
Mm.
Because one guy can just...
Hello? Okay, well, I'm hoping that Victoria calls back, but if she doesn't, I think we've gotten the meat of what she's trying to say. That because of the what's the call now? Because she has not had a lot of luck in her previous relationships, her father wants to make sure that she doesn't end up in the wrong person's hands, in the hands of someone who wants to take advantage of her money, and the fact that she's coming from money, the fact that she will be inheriting a large amount of money and assets as well. So he probably wants to make sure that that is not the case and that won't happen to her in the near future. All right. It's 18 minutes to 7 on Women Radio 91.7, and this is definitely still adult conversations where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight's story is that of Chika, and Chika is talking about the fact that she is to get married very soon, and her fiance is not willing to sign the prenuptial agreement by her father. What am I talking about? Chika is an only child, and her father is the owner of a pretty big company. Now, Chika stands to inherit this company when her father dies, and her father wants her husband, whoever it is that she's going to marry, to sign a prenuptial agreement. This prenuptial agreement basically states that she's going to keep 70% of the assets, and he's going to keep 30% of the assets, and of course the money in the family if he dies or if they get divorced. Yes, if they get divorced. So this is basically where Chika is looking at things from, and she supports her father's point of view because she understands where he's coming from. This man built his company from nothing, and so she supports that. If you're going to pass the company down to me, I need to be safe, and I need to be able to say that the company will not leave my hands and I will not misuse the assets and the money if I get divorced. So if they get divorced, the whole idea that the father is presenting is even if they get divorced, she can still keep majority of the assets and the company can still be run by her. It can still be in their family. And that's the general idea. But Chika's husband or fiance has refused to sign the prenup. Even though he knew about it when they started dating, she told him that, okay, if this is going to get serious, if we're going to get married, you're going to need to sign a prenuptial agreement because my father will not let me marry you without it. And he agreed. He understood it, being an only child, being the fact that she was an only child and all. And now they've been dating for 2 years, about to get married. She's been engaged, and now she has brought out the prenup, but her fiance won't sign it. Her fiance is saying, look, this is a sign that you don't love me and you don't trust that I'll be by your side forever. If you do, technically I wouldn't be signing this. So Chika is saying she understands her father's point of view. And her father said he won't allow her to get married if her fiance doesn't sign it. And Chika is asking, what do I do? Hello, good evening. Mr. Darlington, thank you for calling back.
You see, whenever any agreement is done under duress, it cannot stand in law.
Okay.
Because they are forcing this young man now to sign an agreement for something that is yet to happen.
Forcing how? How do you mean they're forcing him?
When you are telling somebody you must sign this thing before you can do this thing, what does that mean? It's not doing it willingly now. He's under duress, but I thank God the man uttered out because he's wrong. Look, there is no way of knowing what will happen in a marriage.
Okay.
The lady may die first, or the man may die first. Accident can happen. Anything can happen. And you have signed an agreement for an unknown event. It is clearly unknown. Nobody knows where that marriage is headed. So why sign such an agreement? It's wrong. Very, very wrong. I don't know the kind of parents that could subject their daughter to that kind of thing. It's wrong.
Okay, Mr. Darlington.
Doesn't mean that any other person that is coming for that girl is a gold digger. Is that what it means?
Nobody's saying that. But if he's not, nobody's saying that. The man is just trying to secure his company.
The man have already said it. What you are entitled to is divorce. So that means the man is anticipating that divorce is coming.
No, that's not true. Nobody's saying that that's the case.
Oh my God.
Nobody's saying that that's the case.
Don't say nobody's saying. The man has already, it is anticipatory.
Okay, so if they get divorced, what happens? If they get divorced, what happens?
Why are you saying divorce? Why do you bring the divorce? That means you are expecting divorce.
No, Mr. Darlington, it's caution. It's just caution. There's no crime there.
In matters like this, let me tell you, you have already preempted the event.
That is not true. Again, it's like saying
will accept what you are saying.
They don't have to accept it. They don't have to accept it, Mr. Darlington. And this is why in this part of the world we think we think certain things about certain events. It's like saying I want to write my will, and you're saying if I write my will, that means I'm going to die. I'm not sure what that simply means.
Writing a will is different from.
It's not actually. It's really not. It's really not.
They are not the same thing. They are not.
But it's not the same. It's not different though. The will is basically saying, Mr. Darlington.
You say that this is what you are entitled to. You know that events can change tomorrow. The company may go out of proportion beyond what you have already signed. Can't you get it? That company is not going to remain like that now. Something may happen. Before they even make an input in that company, that will even rubbish what you have signed already.
You know that agreements can be referred to, right, Mr. Darlington?
The man didn't give any option that it can be amended, though.
Mr. Darlington, agreements can be amended at any point in time.
Give him that option. He did it.
The agreements can be amended. The agreement can be amended, but it needs to be signed. That's the most important thing.
He is not thinking ahead. He has already told this young man, you must sign this thing.
Mr. Darlington, what's your advice?
Something may happen that will rubbish that agreement that he has signed. What happens after? You are not thinking of that. That is why I said that it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's not wrong, Mr. Darlington. If it's wrong in your point of view. But please don't say it like that's what is set in stone, because it's not. It's not. What is your advice? What is your advice, Mr. Darlington?
The man should opt out. If you leave that marriage.
All right, done. Understood. Okay, thank you very much. And understood. He has a fair point. You know, the company could become more than they thought or more than they think it would be. But technically, even if the company grows to be $1 million at the end of the day, it's still her company. It's still her company. So I don't know what the issue with that is. He's still entitled to 30% if they get a divorce. And if they don't get a divorce, life goes on. Life goes on. If he's not a gold digger, why should it matter? Now, I'm not saying that he is a gold digger, but I'm trying to understand the rationale from a man's point of view. That's why I'm saying if you're a man and you're listening right now and you can kind of understand where he's coming from, then please call in so that we can get a fair estimate of where his head is at. You know, is this a function of, oh, the terms are unfair? Or is this a function of why are you even giving me an agreement to sign in the first place? Or is this a function of you don't love me, that's why you want me to sign this? Or you're hoping that we get divorced, that's why you want me to sign this? What do you think? What do you think? From a man's point of view, that's one question. Then, of course, second question and most important, she's asking, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do going forward? She loves this man, he loves her, and they want the relationship to work. But this is a very important part of Chika's life. So, what are your thoughts?
Good
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Lady B speaking.
Hello, Lady B. Thank you for calling. All right, please go ahead.
I want to say, I don't think that guy is for that lady.
Okay.
Maybe I don't think, because if the guy is really the chosen one for her, he won't even think twice before signing that. You know, there won't be any compromise, and you won't see anything reading into that. So if he's really genuine, I don't see any need why we shouldn't collect that paper and sign, knowing that nothing is going to happen. They will live happily ever after. So I don't think that guy is for that girl. So she should just let it go.
Okay, Lady B, thank you very much for calling. Interesting take by Lady B. You know, I kind of understand where she's coming from. If he's not a gold digger, if he's not interested in the money, why is it a problem signing the document? If it's not a problem whatsoever, like if he doesn't care about the money, if he doesn't care about the fact that she has a company, if he can take care of her, which he can actually, he's doing really well for himself. And if he can take care of her, which is not a problem, that means she will be running her father's company as a day job. If she wants to hire a general manager, whatever the case may be for the structure, she will be in charge of the company. And then he can go on with his engineering career, and then none of them is eating into the other. Everything is perfectly fine. But now the question Mr. Darlington is asking, that if the company really grows, I'm wondering where that's going though. If the company really grows, if the company, okay, so let's assume that the company is worth about maybe $5 million today. If the company becomes maybe $20 million, $30 million going forward, maybe in about 5 years or 10 years from now, that means he gets 30% of $30 million. What exactly is the problem with that arrangement? Now, the only place that might be a major deal is if somewhere along the line, he becomes a part of the company. Maybe he leaves his engineering career and starts to work in the company and he's contributing to the growth of the company, then of course they would have an amendment for that. But I don't even know if that's the case. But where I'm going with this is, of course, as I said earlier, Chika cannot share the full details of the prenuptial agreement. But the thing that matters the most there is what she has said, which is the fact that if they get divorced, the father is saying he's entitled to 30% of her assets and she is keeping 70%. So, what do you think she should do, being that he doesn't want to sign it? Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Lady B calling back. I think the father did that so that they will be able to know who actually loved their daughter to get married to. And
you're saying it could be a test?
Yes. Saying that it could be a test to see who actually loved the daughter. And then maybe with time being, all those agreements, whatever, they can cancel it at the end of the day. If they were able to see who will really come and pick up that challenge and show love to their daughter. It will get to a time that they can cancel the whole thing and everything will become normal. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you, Lady B. All right. Interesting. Lady B is saying maybe this could be a test. Which is true. In a lot of movies we see things like this. Maybe it could be a test. Maybe it could be a test. But if it is, then to a large extent, I hate to say, but Chika's fiance, as we speak, maybe anything can change in another 1 week. But as we speak, if it's a test, Chika's fiance did not pass that test. But even if it's not a test, I'm really trying to understand it from a man's perspective, what the real issue is. What's the real issue? Is it that he's preempting a divorce? Is it that he's already predicting that there will be a divorce somewhere soon, and so he's trying to guard his daughter against it? Or is that what they don't like? Is that what the fiancé doesn't like? That your father cannot be cursing us and telling us that we'll get divorced. I'm not signing this thing. Or what exactly? Or is it the terms that's the problem? What do you think? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Blessing calling from Idaho.
Hello, Blessing. Thank you very much for calling. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, girl. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. My advice to Chika, I guess this fiancé is not the person she thought he would. Maybe the father have already suspected, he started suspecting some things. Maybe this guy is a good digger, maybe dating my daughter because of my daughter money or something like that. That's the reason why the man is actually doing that. And if this guy has no, another plan against what this girl has, I don't think maybe there's a problem for him signing this, because even you sign this, but later in future, you people are going to keep this. And for all these things, is actually going to be belongs to your kids, to you people's kids. So I don't know why he's having problem of him signing this, except he has another plan against this. Okay, maybe when we get married, actually he wants to get married with this lady because of maybe the 30% of whatever he will get out of this lady property. So I don't think maybe the guy is the right for me. If there's a way for him to, for her to sit and think about it very well. Well, I know. Well, I guess the father starts suspecting something. But things happen. Some men can just want to beat you because of what you have. And after they get whatever they need, they'll dump you and go.
All right. Thank you so much, Blessing. Hopefully that's not the case with Chika. And if it is, I guess time will tell. All right, I'm going to take this call, then I'll go and take some messages off of Facebook. Hello, good evening. Mr. Darlington, very quickly, please.
Yes. When you are making such an agreement, you don't do it as a text. You are talking of somebody's picture here. You have to be holistic about it. You are talking of prenuptial agreement. You are talking of divorce. How about that? How about that?
Mr. Darlington, that's also included in the prenuptial agreement. As I said, she's not disclosing the totality of it because all that is not, that's private information. Again, Mr. Darlington, it's private information. That's private information. The part that concerns us. The part that concerns us is what we're talking about.
Now we have to be total about it now, not just discussing one part and leaving the other part.
The part that matters is the part about the divorce because they're getting married. If in case of death, then there's a whole different perspective to it. I don't want us to dwell on this, Mr. Darlington. Let's focus on the subject. If you have advice, I'm glad to hear it. If not specifically concerning this, then I don't really know what it is. I don't know what approach you want to use. But right now, I want to hear your advice if you have any.
You see, that is why that agreement is already disabled. Because from inception, it was not well thought out. It was not. If children comes into the picture, what happens to those children?
Again, Mr. Darlington, you only know what she wants us to know, meaning the fact that she's only talking about this part because this is the part that matters. The prenuptial agreement contains. I can't do that because again, it's private information. If I ask her to tell us every single thing, then where does the privacy go? I'm sorry, I'm not about to breach somebody's privacy because they're sharing their story. Thank you very much, Mr. Darlington. I appreciate you calling. All right, I'm going to go right on to Facebook and take some of the messages. This one is coming from Ubong Etefia. And Ubong says, nothing. Don't get married if he doesn't sign it. He has something up his sleeves. He thought probably with time, you wouldn't be bothered about it. That was why he agreed at first. My dear, if I may say, that guy is not honest. I'm sorry if this sounds bad, but it's the bitter truth. I stand with your father on this one. No signature, no marriage. Elders' wisdom is divine. Adhere to their advice for your own good. Austin Patrick goes on to say, listen to your dad. Why the sudden change? Why did he agree to something he couldn't keep up with? Please and please listen to your dad. If he was worried about you not loving him, he would have brought it up at the beginning of the relationship. He's trying to corner you into giving in. Gabriel Ojonogwa Abu says he should sign it or he should sign it. Oluwayemisi says if he's not ready to sign, you guys should go and do a court wedding. And with that, he will not want to act funny. And that's coming from Toby from Yanopaja. Hadassah Damilola says he agreed in the first place. Changing all of a sudden is very suspicious. Please don't let love blindfold you by making him have his way. He should sign. I stand with your dad. Nicholas Isaac Soporichi is saying he must sign it. If I don't have anything in my skeleton, I believe he means to say, if I don't have any skeletons in my cupboard, why will I be afraid? Chris Ayanabong says, danger ahead. Back out before it's too late. Danger ahead. Back out before it's too late. I want to hear your thoughts on this matter. Do you think it's sane in the first place to come up with an agreement like this? Do you understand where this is coming from? And do you agree with where it's coming from? Do you agree with what it's intended to achieve? I know that it might seem like the father is being very negative. He's being very negative because he's practically, it's coming off like he's predicting that they won't end up to have a long married life. But in reality, that may not be the case. But if we're being honest, again, that might be the case. I believe if a number of couples sign prenuptial agreements before they get married, either a lot of marriages will crash or a lot of marriages will last longer. Because truth be told, it just basically says, okay, if we divorce, this is what you get. Sometimes wealthy people think this way. I don't know. I don't know how many people have experienced this. But this is a reality when it comes to the way wealthy people think. And by wealthy people, I mean people that have built a lot of things from the scratch and want to leave generational wealth for their children. A lot of really big companies, a lot of multinational companies that were started off by a certain kind of people. This happens a lot. This happens more often than you think, actually. It's just not very common in West Africa. It's not very common on this part of our climb, and that is perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay, but it doesn't make it a crime, and it doesn't make it feel. Let me say it this way: it doesn't make it ill-intentioned. It doesn't mean that it's coming from a place of ill intent, because he's saying that they should sign the prenup, that his daughter has to have a fiance sign the prenup before they get married. It's really not coming from a place of bad intention. But my question is it that the terms of the agreement the fiance doesn't like? Or is it that he feels insulted by she asking him to sign that agreement? Or is it that he feels that there's not enough trust? That's why she's asking that he sign it? Or is it that he feels like her father's influence will follow them into their marriage, and that's why he doesn't want to sign it? Or what exactly are the reasons, or is the reason why he really doesn't want to sign the agreement? 70-30 if we get divorced. If they don't get divorced, what happens? If they don't get divorced, then everybody's fine. All well and good, like Nigerians will say. All well and good. All well and good. If they don't get divorced, then fine. She gets to pass it on to her own children going forward. And of course, he'll get a cut out of it too. It's just normal. But if they get divorced, that's what he gets. So is it that everything else in the prenuptial agreement is a problem, or the 70-30, or he's just not comfortable with the general idea of signing a prenup? Now remember that he did say that he was okay with this. She explained to him, and she told him that if we're going to pursue this and we're going to be in a real relationship, and this relationship leads to marriage, you need to be ready to sign a prenuptial agreement. That is compulsory before my father can give his blessing on this marriage. So he agreed before. So what exactly is the problem? That's what I'm asking. Is it the terms of the agreement or something else? I'd like to hear your thoughts. It's 7:06, and we're still talking about Chika's story. This is still Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7. Still on Chika's story, and we're still asking the question, what do I do? Chika wants to know what you think that she should do, particularly because she's at that point where they're so close to getting married, so close to building a life together, and literally just right at the beginning of the new life they're trying to build. So why exactly won't he sign the prenup? Why won't he sign it? I really want to hear from a man's perspective what exactly could be the reasons why he doesn't want to sign it. I'd like to know, honestly. I'd like to know. I understand Chika and her father's point of view, but I don't quite understand his point of view as to why he's refusing to sign the prenup. What exactly is the reason? What exactly is the reason? It's like it's like I have, but I want to make sure that my family doesn't suffer going forward. And when I say doesn't suffer, it will shock you that she'll enter into this marriage and, everything will be so rosy and so beautiful and everything. And at the end of the day, she would give away everything that she has. Or he will manipulate her into giving it away, because that's what her exes used to do. They used to play mind games on her. They used to try to make her just give them money. They're basically there for the money. Now, it seems a bit presumptuous to think that her current fiancé would be like that too. Because trust me, people are so different. The fact that you meet person A on a certain day and you think, oh, this is how they are, does not mean that person B is exactly the same person. So it's always really cool when you get to meet new people and you get to analyze the environment, your interactions with them and all of that. But, that aside, the most important question right now is the one that Chika is asking. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Very important question. Because right now is that turning point for Chika. It could go well or it could go worse. So what do you think? Do you think that this is just something that Chika and do you think this is something that they just came up with out of the blue? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But this is an interesting visit. So just in case things don't work out, you can come back for your records and maybe go get another doctor if need be. Again, just a joke. Where I'm going with this is, what exactly is the issue? Why her future husband won't sign the document? Like, what's the real issue here? What is the real issue? I really don't know how to talk about this, but it might be a bit challenging to just sit down and listen to the conversation. And that's because half the time there's something new, there's something that's popping, and then you maybe need to address them. But it's still a surprise to most people. But let's talk about Chika. Let's talk about Chika. What do you think is going on? What do you think? Because right now, I'm wondering, how are we even here in the first place? It's a bit surprising. So I need to know what you think the decision is going to be and what they can wear, and all this stress. You don't necessarily need it. And I think about it and I'm like, well, technically I don't necessarily need it, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it and it doesn't do certain good for my body. It doesn't mean I'm not being intentional about it. Again, why won't he sign the prenup? I want to hear from a guy or I don't even know what the terms are. I just really need to know that it's not going to wake up and just out of the blue. So yes, that's a real fear for me right now, coming from the stories. But there's just not enough. How do I put this now? There's just not enough. I'm trying to find the right word. Well, what I mean to say is that right now in this stage of life, your stage could be different from another person's stage, and they're going through what they're going through. So the fact that people don't call as much today does not mean in any way that you will not hear great voices later on. So. What do you think about the story tonight? I don't know if you've been watching. We're live on Facebook and on Instagram. So, WFM 917 is the handle to follow. To be able to watch us, to be able to stream, WFM 917 is the handle to follow. You know what blows my mind about this whole story? What blows my mind about the whole story is like, it's like feeling that even if things don't work out, I'm going to be there for you, I'm going to be right here and everything. And that might be a little bit to swallow. But that under any circumstance should not indicate, oh, let me go with you, let me see. It kind of makes things awkward. But in this case, take out awkwardness. There's nothing awkward about this one. These are two people that have been in a relationship for 2 years and they want to get married. Chika's father is very rich and he wants his daughter's fiance to sign a prenup before they get married. This is according to him to guard her against another previous relationship that didn't go so well. So this is straight to the point, people. Straight to the point. What do you think Chika should do? Pardon me. What do you think she should do? Because it might seem simple, but it's really not. So what do you think she should do? What do you think? Interesting question. What are your thoughts tonight? Do you think that Chika's fiance should sign the document and move on? Or do you think whatever the thought is, it doesn't sound very good right now. It really doesn't sound very good right now. Because now this is the one little thing that is holding her marriage in ransom or towards ransom. I'm not even sure. This is the thing, because it just seems like there's not how do I put it? There's not ever a time when you're not actually doing something. So what do you think? I'm very curious. So ladies, call me, tell me your thoughts about it. And of course, I'll do the same. I'm interested in knowing what you think. The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can always send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Again, this is Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7. All right, let me take this call first. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
Yeah, are you hearing me now?
Much better. Thank you so much. Kindly go ahead.
My name is Samuel.
Hello, Sam. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, from Ikorodu.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. I really don't see why there should be much argument about it. If the guy is doing very well, the lady is doing very well too. Whatever he gets from his in-laws shouldn't be his starting point. It should be in addition to what he has. So there's no big deal in signing the agreement. Just if his mind is clear in what he's going to, clear with the relationship,
yes,
we'll just sign it. If he gets 30% from whatever the man has, in addition to what he has, it should be enough for him. If you about the divorce, we don't pray for that.
Yes, of course.
So I think for me, it's a good deal for him. That he is supposed to sign it. Somebody has to have a security for whatever he's doing. You don't allow the only girl the one has to go up and to go out and risk all the brothers they bought for because you want to get married.
Mm-hmm.
In as much as they love each other or there will be love, there still have to be security.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is any big deal in signing it. If I were him, I would sign it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. If I were him, I'd sign it. I don't know what else would get you to the point of making that kind of decision if it's not an understanding of where the company is coming from. Again, I totally get it. It might sound really weird, but this is something that's pretty common, actually. Hello, good evening. Hello, are you there? Okay, please call me back if you can. Call me back if you can. I don't even know what to think right now. Believe me, I don't know what to think. Because on one hand, it's just people coming to, I don't know what the word is right now, coming to support you or something. It can be tricky. It can really be tricky. But at the end of the day, is this the best thing? Is this the best thing? And Chika is asking, what do I do? Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Oluwatoyin calling from Ikorodu.
Okay, Oluwatoyin, thank you for calling.
Yeah. What I have to say is that if the husband to be doesn't have an hidden agenda, you should be able to sign. You should be able to sign the agreement. That's my own. If you know you have a clear conscience, you don't have anything hidden, and you really love your wife or your wife to be, you should be able to sign the agreement. So that's my own. That's not the little thing about the issue. You should be able to sign, and if you're not going to sign it, let her move on with her life. If he should be the father of the girl, what would they have had him do? If he should be the father of the girl, what would they have had him do? So he should just sign the document if he really loves the girl. And if he doesn't love her that much, he should go. God will give her another husband that will take care of her.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much for calling. It was the passion for me in what she was saying. It was the passion that she was saying it with. And yes, this is so true. This is so true. So thank you. Thank you for that. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Peter calling from Ibafo.
Peter calling from Ibafo, okay.
Yeah, thank you. For people saying the guy may be a gold digger, well, they may be right and they may be wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes we guys, we don't like to be pressured into doing something. And I don't know what the guy and the girl may have discussed it that lead to that. If they love themselves as they claim, they should forget about the parents' riches, forget about the father's company. They should start their life. The father will include everything he wants in his will. And as time goes on, they will read the will. Anything he gets is fine. I think for Chika, exposing herself to the guy is the problem.
Okay. How do you mean?
Decide not to.
How do you mean exposing herself is a problem?
Yes. If you pass through heartbreak or some relationship that you know very well that people are coming after you because of your father's wealth, there are things to be done. At times you hide your identity. If you want to find out if the guy really loves you, you can decide to hide your identity and let the guy know that, okay, this is the person you are. I don't have much. I'm just struggling.
Okay.
And if you, after knowing the guy's intention, you can decide to let the guy know where you're coming from and the reason why you decide to hide your identity. So I think that is good on our part. If the guy decides to sign it, fine. But if he did not, if they really love themselves as they claim, I think they should forget about the father's company and start their life. As time goes on, they will build their family together and the father will bless them with anything they wish he can give them. Thank you.
Interesting. I don't know how that will play out, particularly because she's an only child. She's an only child. So if he doesn't will the company to her, who will he give it to? Who will he give it to? Who you know, it makes sense why sometimes some parents want you to follow in a certain line of interest, because they think that they can't trust other people to handle the family business like you would as family, which is true, you know. And I think possibly this is where the father is coming from. But you know, he's saying let's just focus on the love, you know. She should forget about it. They should both forget about it and they should move on if they really love each other like they say that they do. That will be very difficult to do. That will be really difficult to do because, again, not because they care about the money, but because they care about the company. The company is somebody's life's work. So it won't be fair, being again that she's an only child and there's nobody else to bank on. It would be a heartbreak straight to the heart if that happens. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I did Evangelist Kolawole from Bagboro.
Okay. Evangelist Kolawole, please go ahead.
Yes, I want to speak as a minister of God, ma'am. And Chike and her dad and their fiancé, it seems as if they didn't know what marriage is. Are you hearing me, ma'am?
I can hear you.
Marriage is a vow initially, biblically. The Bible doesn't support divorce. Divorcement is not the Bible. The Bible doesn't support it in any way. So when they want to go on church marriage, there is a recovenant before. Apart from the signing agreement, the agreement between God, the pastor, and the host of hell is more than that of the little the ordinary paper that Chike daddy wants to sign with the husband should sign. Are you following me, man?
Yes, I'm following you.
So that marriage is before God, man, and the pastor. So immediately you find that it's more than that of paper that you wanted to sign. So if you can understand that by so doing, so no need that is worrying himself. I think understand. So that's my own contribution.
Okay, but let me ask you this. In line with the okay, simply put, you're saying that the prenuptial agreement doesn't matter, right? Since they will sign a document before God and the world.
You should not be worried about that paper. The Chike daddy should rely on the code before God and man. There must be nothing that only these children of nowadays, they don't know what is called marriage. They just go to church and sign it. There must be no divorce. The Bible says unless that's what I am making says, the death do us part. I think understand me.
Yes, but the Bible also says that in case of infidelity, they can go their separate ways. Is that not true?
Pardon?
Doesn't the Bible say that infidelity is a condition for divorce?
Only death can do them, but there is no room for divorce. biblically.
Okay, so the Bible doesn't say that infidelity. If in cases of infidelity, the Bible doesn't say that.
There is nothing. That vow is before God and man. There should not.
Evangelist, I'm asking you one simple question. One simple question. Is it not stated in the Bible that when it comes to cases of infidelity, they can go their separate ways? Isn't that in the Bible?
What the Bible is saying that, people will say there is I forgot the name they normally call it in the near something. That put it in Yoruba.
Okay. Okay.
Wọ́n máa sọ wípé nípasẹ̀ àgbèrè tí ọkọ àti ìyàwó tí wọ́n bá ṣe àgbèrè. Ẹni tó ti márì ò kì í ṣàgbèrè. Àwọn tó ti wà nínú ilé, àwọn tí ó wà níta náà ṣàgbèrè. Àwọn tó ti márì ara wọn, àwọn yẹn ò kì í ṣàgbèrè. Panṣágà náà máa ń pè é. Ẹni tó dẹ̀ ti márì sílẹ̀ ò kì í ṣe panṣágà. Àti ọ̀dà kan ni.
I'm not really sure what agbere is. I'm not really sure what that is.
Agbere is people that they girls that have not signed marriage that they do. Hello, ma.
Are you talking about fornication?
Yes, ma. Thank you. Fornication. Fornication took part from those who are yet to marry. I think that immediately they marry, so Bible is telling us that unless those who do fornication, it's only the fornication. That is how Moses stated it.
Mr. Evangelist, I'm not arguing with any of that. I'm not arguing with, you're right. I'm not arguing with any of that. But there are cases where people want to get a divorce. For instance, if the husband is cheating, or if the husband is beating the woman, or if the wife is beating the husband and he can't take it anymore. There are cases like that. And in such cases, when there's a threat to life, either party can decide that they don't want to continue with the marriage and they can get a divorce.
Even if they're threatening to life, it's just that you go on prayer. No one should have no room for
Evangelist, that. I'm sorry, I will not agree with you on this one. I won't agree with you on this one. I understand what you're saying. But would you now say that, so if they pray and eventually somebody dies in that marriage, would it be better for somebody to die in that marriage because divorce is wrong according to you?
They must continue. No marriage without challenges, man.
No, there are challenges, but not when it comes to beating and breaking somebody's head. That's not the type of challenge that even the Bible is talking about.
Both of them have cried. They go on their knees. They go on prayer. And God, there are many cases like that God has solved it.
And there are also cases like that somebody died. Yes. There are also cases like that where somebody died. So does somebody have to die for something like that to happen?
It may not happen like that.
No, I agree with you. It may not. But in the case that obviously the person is not changing. The person is not changing. There is no change. Nothing is happening. I'm sure you've heard about the popular Osinachi, the gospel artist that died.
I heard that.
I'm sure you heard about that. So in such a situation, I can beat my chest and say that she prayed about God delivering that marriage. But that didn't happen. This is not to say that God doesn't answer prayers, because he does. But for that unique situation, that didn't happen. Did she have to die in that marriage for something to change? If she had asked for a divorce and had gone with her life, would it not have been better?
Excuse me, ma. Do you believe in prayer before marriage, ma?
How do you mean prayer before marriage? Please explain what you mean.
You can't just go to marriage. You must first seek the face of God. That is what I mean.
Oh, of course.
If people seek the face of God before marriage, God will not sell his own son to a lion that will go and kill him. I feel that.
Evangelist, all right, I'm gonna have to stop you right here because this conversation is getting too long. But again, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. This is not to say that God will send you to the wrong person or anything like that. But there are cases like that.
Prayer is telling us what will happen in future, man. I feel that.
Again, not in every situation. I'm not really sure what all that entails. But I'm talking about
that when they go to altar now, they say for better, for worse. I feel that. and people will sign immediately to sign that there must be there must be nothing. I mean, there must be no divorce again. So that is my own take, man.
Understood. Okay. Well, I still have to say specifically, I'm not an advocate of divorce. I don't believe in divorce. I don't believe that divorce should be the first thing you think about when your marriage is encountering challenges. I don't agree with that. But what I do agree with is if there's a threat to life, and this threat to life can be in form of a psychological problem. If you're depressed, you can kill yourself. And that means if your husband or your wife is causing you depression or causing you anxiety or making you develop some kind of personality disorder that you did not have, believe me, that's a threat to life. And that's grounds for divorce. And I would rather you live with your life than die in that marriage, because the Bible says, till death do us part. We've had too many gory stories. I would rather we do not have more stories like that going forward. All right, so this one is coming from John from Ikorodu. John is saying, good evening. My advice to her is to listen to her father. Men are sometimes desperate when they're so lucky to find or get a lady from a rich family. What the father is saying now, both of them will not understand until later. He should sign to secure their marriage and the company. It's best in this scenario for him to sign. If he refuses, that the marriage should not hold. And that's coming from John from Ikorodu. All right, I'm going to read the series of messages that we have. And this one is coming from Joseph King from Lagos, who is saying, Chika, you need to understand that there are heaps of bad guys and gold diggers all around. Appearance is deceptive. So I strongly and wholly support your father's idea. Your fiancé must sign it and abide by the rules if he truly and deeply loves you. If he's still refusing to sign it, please quit the relationship without delay. And please, Chika, don't ever attempt to beg a man to marry you. This one is coming from Sunday Israel from Otta, who is saying, well, I would start by saying him agreeing to sign the prenuptial agreement from the start could be because he sees that he's capable of making it up with it. And now his refusal of signing it might be because he has shared his story with someone who has advised him not to go for it. But to answer the question, because the question is from the Chika, what do I do? Who says, now what she can do is to work on her fiancé to know why he agreed from the start and then refused now when they're about to get married. If his reasons are genuine enough, then she can decide to discuss it with her father. If so, he can re-amend the prenup or even cancel it, and then they can have their marriage. But if the man is doing well for himself and doesn't have any bad intention of marrying Chika, signing the prenup shouldn't be a problem. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, please, I want to make my own contribution.
All right, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Valentine. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Okay, Valentine, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
I said, if the young man feels that the conference is a threat to the marriage, all you need to do is to just think or set aside the condition and go ahead and marry the woman. I get my point.
Okay, he should set terms and conditions for...
Yes, and go ahead and marry the man. You will not be able to share to that condition.
So the terms and conditions, are they for who?
I mean, the young man can put the condition aside. Tell the in-law that is not interested in the certificate. If he's comfortable, it is well to do. He can go ahead and marry Chika and return back the 30% to the in-law. That's my own contribution.
Okay, thank you. This is still Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7. It's an interesting conversation tonight, and I hope you're still right here with me. We're discussing Chika's story, and I would like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think that she should talk to him about it, or do you think that she should make him sign it? I don't think there's any way to do that, honestly, because even if she makes him sign it when he doesn't want to, it can come as null and void before the court. Why? Because it's under duress, rather. So, let's just get that clear. But Chika is asking, what do I do? What are your thoughts tonight? This is still Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7.
You're listening to the voice of women. It's not just talk, but it will take you complete everything and improve and better.
Mr. Johnson, I'm here for my money.
Baba landlord, I'm very sorry. My wife is very sick and I have spent all the money I have.
I've been telling you to ensure the health of you and your family with a reliable HMO.
Reliable HMO? Which of them can I go for?
Ives Medicare HMO Limited. They are one of the accredited health maintenance organizations with thousands of quality and accredited healthcare providers nationwide on their network. They have corporate plan, retail plan, student plan, and even community-based health plan. Also, their premium is pocket friendly.
Please, where are they located?
Their office is located at number 2 Osho Street, Okpebi Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Their phone number is 080-93-555-863 or 080-3263-9058. Their website is www.ivesmedicare.com. Ives Medicare, health protection in your corners.
Guy, waiting the back now. I'm not sure you see the result. Guy, know this one thing, but trust you now. How you doing now? Fine. Now, so since we have party go in place tomorrow, you can say we're expecting for you tomorrow.
What time?
6 p.m. sharp.
Why you dey rush talk now?
See, my credit goes to finish me.
For this blue economy, when your credit dey finish.
I beg say me another thing. Now, gas feed your meter. No need to rush your call. Buy your SIM. When you subscribe to Globe 11 per second, now to the main course for as low as 11 per second to all networks. It is available to new and existing subscribers. Terms and conditions they shall.
Now, wow, you just can't stop stroking your baby's body. Oh, my dear. Can't you see my baby's skin? You never had nappy and heat rashes, but ever since I discovered Baby Tributan, my skin has become as smooth as velvet. No more nappy or heat rash. Really? I remember. Tell me more about this Baby Tributan. Baby Tributan is formulated for baby's tender skin to provide effective action against nappy and heat rashes. Use Baby Tributan today and discover the secret of velvety baby skin.
Tributan, a product of Fatesin Healthcare PLC, contains clotrimazole and Isomol. Always read product leaflet.
Are you searching for durable, guaranteed, elegant, affordable home products? At Eleganza Industrial City Limited, we put you first. From plastic chairs for adults and babies, party tables and school tables, disposable plates and cups, as well as reusable plastics, food warmers and cooling boxes, trash bins of various sizes, baby diapers, lady sanitary care products, luggage of various sizes, hair threads, and lots more. Eleganza Industrial City Limited has got you covered with our elegantly designed products in unique shapes and sizes. Visit us at kilometer 68 Lekki Epe Expressway after Eleko Junction, Ibeji Lekki, Lagos. Or you can call 081-801-99999 or 090-914-73665, or you can send us an email at eleganzaindustrialcity@yahoo.com or info@eleganzagroups.com or sales@eleganzagroups.com. You can visit our website www.eleganzagroups.com. Eleganza Industrial City Limited. The name is our guarantee.
My children are surprises. Adane buys my favorite 3 Crowns milk regularly. And as for Chinedu, that one makes it rain with monthly upkeep. They even plan to take me to Dubai someday soon, so I can see Burj Khalifa and other fine places.
Win your mom a trip to Dubai. Buy 3 Crowns milk products worth 2,000 naira. Write a note to say thank you to your mom. Post it on www.3crowns.com.ng and she could be one of the lucky winners to Dubai. Terms and conditions apply. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
2023 general election don't come. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our vote. Make we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates wey no dey use women play. Candidates wey carry woman matter for head. Women no, make una get una permanent voters card (PVC). Make we vote better.
Na Voice for Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio 91.7 bring una this message.
For Women Radio 91.7, we value una. We do always find way where we go take near una. Now make we bring Women Radio membership come out. We go connect you with other women within 36 states for Nigeria. You be market woman, the same way get your own hustle, the same way they go school, Person wey don work retire, person wey dey look pikin dem for house. Abi you be farmer? We no say make you bring money o. Just go register for WFM917.com. You fit still join Women Radio membership group for Facebook. Oya, near me, make I tell you wetin you go like. As person wey follow this group, na im be member, we go help you sell your market for Women Radio. And every month you go dey chop better prices dem. Download our mobile app, make you dey hear us anywhere where you dey. Women Radio membership dey connect you and other women dem.
Oya, give the left and right, don't touch.
You think you know Nigeria's biggest tunes?
This battery is the problem.
Then get in the ring on the Big Tune Show every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WFM 91.2.
Female genital mutilation, FGM, is a harmful practice that affects women and girls. Let's talk FGM every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Together, we must fight against FGM and end this harmful practice in Nigeria. Let's talk FGM, Wednesdays, 2 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Let's talk FGM is supported by Haiti Health Initiative.
Our world is threatened by terrorism, wars, killings, and various vices. Its effects are mostly felt by women and girls. Peace and security is a collective responsibility as it concerns women, girls, and boys. Join WANEP on Women's Voices for Peace every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7 as we engage on issues of women, peace, and security. On Women's Voices for Peace on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
14 minutes to 8 on Women Radio 91.7. This is Hello Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight, there's still a message, or there's still some messages I haven't read from the Adult Conversations family group chat, and I'm going to go ahead and read this one. This one's come from Bino from Ojo. Bino says, your dad is not stupid for wanting any man to sign that prenuptial agreement before marrying his only daughter, the heir to his company. Your other relationship was having issues, best known to you because you didn't mention the reason why. Should in case it was because of the prenuptial agreement stuff, that means these other guys were gold diggers who might eventually throw you out of the window if things go sour. Your fiance agreed to it before now because he wants to claim that he truly loves you. Now the real task of love has come, he's running away. Who knows if it's just a test from your father? And even if it's not a test, the idea of divorce was initiated by your father because he knows you more than your so-called fiancé. Your strength and weakness which your partner might use against you. He has not yet gotten the desired authenticity of your man, and that's why he's bent on that agreement. I'll advise you to talk to your fiancé to sign the prenuptial agreement sharply. If he knows how much effort your dad put in place to build that company, he will not be given excuses. I stand with your dad. Okay. You know, today we've been having this conversation for this long, and it doesn't look like there's any middle point. To a large extent, it looks like you either get it or you don't. And if you don't, it's also okay, because that means that you don't agree with the idea of the prenuptial agreement, which is perfectly okay. Not everybody would agree with it, because again, it's not popular on this part of the world. So, what do you think? She's asking, what do I do? He doesn't want to sign the prenuptial agreement, even after saying that he would. What do I do? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for calling. May I know your name and where you're calling from?
Right, my name is Benga. I'm coming from Olagbole.
Hello, Benga. Thank you very much for calling.
All right. Yeah, concerning tonight's topic,
Yes.
I just want to say that the lady's father actually loves the daughter, and I don't see anything wrong in the agreement. I myself could actually do that to my daughter. You know, I mean, it's common sense. She has had relationships that are probably based on financial terms, and then the father got to realize, and then in one way or the other, the relationship failed. So the father actually knows that, I mean, for the lady to be in such a position, not positioned, a well-influenced position, there's tendency that the wrong guy might actually come. So in order to face off such, he decides to go into an agreement with the so-called fiancé, so that if he is the wrong one, then I mean he might have a rethink. If he's not the wrong one, I don't see any details in him signing the papers. If it's not after the lady's wealth, there is not an issue. He should go ahead, sign the documents, and then live his life. If he actually loves her, he wouldn't consider that shouldn't be a big deal. It is either he is not mature enough, or he has an ulterior motive, or he's trying to play on the lady's mindset. Now, I will advise the lady to talk to him, to sign the documents, and make him realize if he truly loves her, then he should go ahead and sign it. After all, if they live together, he's still going to benefit from it as far as he loves her. Whether it is 30% or it's 10% or it's even 0%, a lady that loves a man will do anything for that man. That is common sense. It is really a foolish man, a man that claims one stupid thing called ego. I mean, ego is natural. But when you now overbase a particular thing on yourself, then you are becoming stupid. So when some men now begin to think ego, I mean, you don't think and begin to place ego on everything. How long are you going to keep on placing ego on everything? And you think the father is playing on your ego. How about if the man himself dies? How about if the father dies before that time? Before tomorrow. The father might die anytime. The lady might die anytime. The man in question who is willing to get married to that lady might die at any time. And the fact that there's a control of divorce, it doesn't mean that the man is praying that the daughter will get divorced. No father prays for his daughter to get divorced.
All right.
There's no reasonable man that will pray for that. He's only trying to prevent the uncertainty. I mean, what he never planned for, which is just natural.
Thank you very much,
Benga. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for that particular comment. And truth be told, there is a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. There's this message coming in from the Adult Competitions group chat, coming from Polestic from Lagos, who says, "Good evening, fam. Chika, I'll pick your storyline one after the other. Heir to the company and doing well for yourself is God's blessing and favor upon your struggle and parents. Excuse me. Please keep off your inheritance and achievement out of your relationship or marriage. Ask your fiance if he is marrying you for your inheritance or financial upliftment. Besides, what happens if your father goes to heaven before the divorce? You need to be sure why he wants to marry you. Stop enticing men with your inheritance and achievement, moving on in case this doesn't work out eventually. It's better to even write the prenuptial agreement to favor your unborn child. If your father isn't comfortable with your fiancé, then he can do a sharing formula. Interesting. All right, thank you very much. We're going to round off soon, and I can only take one more call at this point. So that we can round off. We've had a really long, productive conversation today, and let's not forget that the buck lies in the hands of Chinwe, or at the feet of Chinwe, so to speak, of Chika at the end of the day. She's the one who decides what to do. But if you want to give one final piece of advice, so to speak, then please go ahead and call. The number is 07000-917-917. Also, you can send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. One last call, and then we round off. All right. At this point, there's not much to say other than the fact that Chika would decide what it is that she wants to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that her father is predicting something really terrible for her, or predicting that she's going to get divorced at the end of the day, because that's really not the case. That's really not the case. And even if that's the case, hopefully, of course, that's not the case, but even if that's the case, is it wrong to be prepared in case of that kind of eventuality? Particularly given the fact that that's a pretty common eventuality in today's world. So, while I'm waiting for that last call, if it comes in, I just want to say thank you very much for calling in so far, for calling, texting, sending messages on Facebook. I appreciate every single comment, every single point of view is welcome. Thank you very much for taking time to tune in to Adult Conversations today. And of course, on behalf of Chika, I say thank you again. I believe that she'll be able to take an informed decision from the advice that you've given. And on Chika's behalf, I thank you again, and I hope you'll join me same time tomorrow, same station, and most definitely same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you very much to the engineer on duty and to my studio assistant, Eniola. Please keep safe and have a peaceful night, and whatever the case is, just make sure that you don't think too much on all of these issues, because life they happen at the end of the day. Thank you very much for tuning in again. My name is Sumto Titilayo Achama. Good evening.